It's been a long time since Mike Myers took us on a groovy journey through time and espionage with his Austin Powers franchise, a 3-film romp that featured a star-studded cast of past and future celebrities. In the decades since, some of these actors have hung on to their mojo, while others are resting on their laurels. Here's a look back at where the cast was before the films and where they are now. Mike Myers. Before he played Austin Powers, Dr. Evil, and the endlessly hungry fat bastard, Mike Myers played a slew of characters during his 6-year run on Saturday Night Live, including metalhead Wayne Campbell, who of course appeared in his own feature film franchise. Once the Austin Powers trilogy ended, Myers went on to voice the beloved title character in the Shrek franchise, but sadly his other work wasn't as well received. 2008's The Love Guru won a terrible trifecta of Razzie Awards for Worst Actor, Worst Screenplay, and Worst Picture, plus a nomination for Myers for Worst Actor of the Decade.
Ouch, baby. Very ouch.
Still, Myers has left his mark on Hollywood. His Walk of Fame star was unveiled in 2002, and in his home country of Canada, he's a national hero with his own commemorative stamp. And if you're more likely to see him in a Toronto Maple Leafs game than on the big screen these days, it might be because the Austin Powers and Shrek franchises combined made him even wealthier than Dr. Evil. Elizabeth Hurley. This English actress is probably best known for her role as Vanessa Kensington in the first 2 Austin Powers films. But those are just a pair of entries in a lengthy filmography that includes movies like Rowing with the Wind and Bedazzled, where she plays a smoking hot devil. And off-screen, Hurley is famous in her own right for her modeling work, and by association for her 13-year relationship with Hugh Grant, standing by him during the 1995 scandal in which Grant was caught with a Hollywood prostitute.
I did a bad thing, and there you have it.
These days, Hurley is flying solo and staying busy, running a beachwear company and playing Queen Helena on the E! television series The Royals. Michael York. Long before Austin Powers hit theaters, the English actor who plays Basil Exposition was a veteran of stage and screen since the mid-1960s, starring in films like Taming of the Shrew and Romeo and Juliet, and on Broadway in the original production of Tennessee Williams' Outcry. And don't even get us started on his television credits. York reprised his role for all 3 Austin Powers films, but since 2010, the actor has rarely been seen on screen and has been undergoing treatment for amyloidosis, a rare medical condition caused by the abnormal production of insoluble proteins in the body. Mimi Rogers. Austin Powers' International Man of Mystery is merely a side note on the resume of this actress, producer, and competitive poker player who famously starred in the 1991 religious drama The Rapture. After the first Austin Powers movie, Rogers went on to appear in films like Lost in Space and Ginger Snaps, and on popular television shows including The X-Files and Mad Men. Robert Wagner. Long before he starred as Dr. Evil's right-hand man, Robert Wagner was one of the hardest-working actors in Hollywood.
Who does number 2 work for?
Who does number 2 work for? Pretty much everyone. Wagner's starring roles include TV shows like It Takes a Thief, Switch, and Heart to Heart. And in the 21st century, you could find him on 2.5 Men and NCIS. But Wagner might be most famous for his role in one of classic Hollywood's biggest tragedies. In 1981, Wagner's Oscar-nominated wife, Natalie Wood, drowned while sailing off the coast of California with Wagner and actor Christopher Walken. Wood's death was ruled an accident, but lingering questions about the possibility of foul play resulted in the investigation being reopened in 2013, with the Los Angeles coroner's office amending the actress' cause of death to include undetermined factors. The decision to reopen the investigation was supported by Wagner, who's still mourning his wife's death more than 30 years later.
Well, I don't think you ever overcome it. And why should you?
Seth Green. After he played Dr. Evil's son Scott in all 3 Austin Powers movies, Hollywood was only too happy to throw a frickin' bone to Seth Green. 20 years after he refused to hug his evil dad on screen, Green has found massive success as a creator and producer, writer, director, and main vocal talent of Adult Swim's stop-motion sketch comedy show Robot Chicken. Green was also a staple of comedies like Can't Hardly Wait and Without a Paddle, and has been heard but not seen as the voice of Family Guy's Chris Griffin.
Wear it now!
And with various prestigious awards under his belt for his work on Robot Chicken, this is one Austin Powers star who hasn't lost his mojo since 1997. Mindy Sterling. Although Sterling got her start playing with puppets on the children's TV series Dusty's Treehouse, it's her role as Dr. Evil's associate Frau Farbissina where she truly made her mark on Hollywood's hearts and eardrums.
Scott!
So you probably won't recognize Sterling from anywhere else unless you watch TV with your kids. Despite her street cred as Evil's Girl Friday, the actress is a popular casting pick on Disney, Nickelodeon, and other children's networks, where her comedy credentials definitely make her well-suited for family-friendly roles. Will Ferrell. After notching his big screen breakthrough in Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me, Mike Myers' fellow SNL veteran became a comedy star in his own right, bringing laughs in films like Old School, Anchorman, and Talladega Nights.
Well, Dick, here's the deal. I'm the best there is, plain and simple. I mean, I wake up in the morning, excellence.
Ferrell also had one of the most memorable runs in Saturday Night Live history, where he became famous for impersonating famous figures like George W. Bush, Cubs announcer Harry Carey, and Jeopardy host Alex Trebek. Nowadays, he's still making movies and making fun of himself, often to earn money for charitable causes, as with his 10 Major League Baseball teams in one day stunt from 2015. Heather Graham. Way before she played Felicity Shagwell in the Austin Powers sequel, Heather Graham broke out in Hollywood in the late 1980s with License to Drive, followed by Twin Peaks and Boogie Nights. And after traveling back to 1969 for The Spy Who Shagged Me, Graham didn't slow down. After playing Felicity Shagwell, Graham went on to star in films like Committed, Say It Isn't So, and the Hangover series. And more recently, she's been featured in recurring roles on series like Showtime's Californication and Netflix's Flaked.
I'm pretty enough to be on TV, right?
Beyoncé. Unless you've been living under a rock, this is one Austin Powers alumna who needs no introduction. The 22-time Grammy Award winner is one of America's top 50 richest self-made women with more than 100 million records sold worldwide. And that's just her solo career. But the majority of Beyoncé's success came after she played the leading lady Foxy Cleopatra in Austin Powers in Goldmember, even if she was already well on her way to superstardom by then as the lead singer of Destiny's Child. Michael Caine. This icon of the British screen has been acting since the 1950s, and he was an Oscar nominee long before he played Austin Powers' father in Goldmember. Caine worked steadily throughout the 1970s and 80s, starring in films like Get Carter and Woody Allen's Hannah and Her Sisters, for which he earned the first of 2 Academy Awards for Best Supporting Actor. But since he showed the world where Austin got his groove, Caine is probably best known for his work with director Christopher Nolan, particularly in his role as Alfred Pennyworth in the Dark Knight trilogy, where as Nolan's favorite cast member, he had all the best lines.
Some men just want to watch the world burn.
Verne Troyer. Though he's best known for playing the miniature clone of Dr. Evil, Verne Troyer has a big presence in Hollywood. The 2 feet 8 inch tall actor has brought his unique stature to films like Pinocchio's Revenge and Mighty Joe Young, and he was the first to play Griphook the Goblin in Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, though he was replaced later in films by fellow actor and friend Warwick Davis. Troyer also maintains an active social media presence, where he's recently admitted to battling alcohol addiction and thanked his fans for their support. Fred Savage.
So you're the...
Apart from his bit as a spy with a prominent mole in Goldmember, there's one role that will follow Fred Savage for the rest of his life. Of course, we're talking about The Wonder Years, where the young actor earned 2 Golden Globe nominations and 2 Emmy nominations for playing the lead role of Kevin Arnold. Although, yes, that's also him in The Princess Bride, giving the stink eye to all things romantic.
Is this a kissing book?
After his role in the Austin Powers franchise, Savage moved on to mostly voice acting, with appearances on Family Guy, Kim Possible, and BoJack Horseman, and he's kept busy behind the camera as a TV director. But if you're dying to see his face on screen without that mole in the way, he's also getting back into acting, with starring roles in both seasons of The Grinder and the Netflix series Friends from College. Thanks for watching. Click the looper icon to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Plus, check out all this cool stuff we know you'll love too.